His name is Andrei Telizhenko, and I'm particularly pleased to see him here. Andrei, thank you for joining us. There's so much that we could discuss. Can we start with the Biden crime family? Because I suspect, as someone was saying on the line just a minute ago, it's clear that they've decided that the Bidens have to be the scapegoats. And it seems to me obvious that the Hunter Biden business empire, with Burisma and all the murky goings on that his father, when vice president of the United States, engaged in, will be the proximate reason. So although Burisma is a forgotten name now, I suspect in the next few months the word Burisma will be on everyone's lips. Now, you played a role in attempting to blow the whistle on the Biden-Burisma lash-up. Tell us about it.
Hello, Mr. Galloway. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on. It's a great honor to be on your show. I can tell you, this situation where I got myself in when I came out with the truth on Burisma, on Hunter Biden, on Blue Star Strategies, and on the big guy, the vice president at the time of the United States, Joe Biden, I got politically destroyed. They tried to politically destroy me. Ukraine was investigating Burisma. Ukraine, the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine, had 6 criminal cases opened onto the Burisma gas company on itself. And it got closed down after the prosecutor, which Joe Biden wanted to get fired for the transaction of $1 billion of loan guarantees to Ukraine. They got a new prosecutor and they closed the whole case, all 6 cases, and Burisma just paid $200,000 of tax fees, and that's it. And today we see the result. It was all a corrupt scheme. Joe Biden knew where his son was going into. I know this because I was in the whole process of change starting from the working in the Ukrainian government, overseeing the intelligence community, ending with the prosecutor's office, and working in Washington in the Ukrainian embassy, and then working for the Democratic lobby firm Blue Star Strategies, which was the middleman between Joe Biden and Burisma. They were the ones who were overseeing Hunter Biden's work in Ukraine, with people like Amos Holstein, who connected this whole story together. Joe Biden, when his son was getting hired into Burisma, exactly knew what the company was about, because Blue Star Strategies prepared a couple of documents for him, one legit, one not legit, like the mafia does. One would show that Burisma is a okay company, they have some problems, but they can be solved with PR. The other one they gave to Joe Biden directly, showing what Burisma was about, how corrupt it was, how to make money on it, on the side for Joe Biden's family. And that's what they were doing. They were making money out of this whole corrupt scheme in Ukraine. And the outcome we see today, how Ukraine was used by the corrupt deep state in Washington. The outcome is war and deaths in Ukraine, because Ukraine was used as it was used 10 years ago, and it is used today still by the deep state elites in Washington.
And not just the Bidens, of course. The sons of Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, are all working in Ukraine. What first attracted all these Ukrainian companies to the sons of prominent American politicians? I mean, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to work out what's going on here, Andrei.
Of course. The problem is Ukrainians themselves, the Ukrainian government, the elites, led to buy into this so-called democracy. They bought Americans to cover up their stories. And the Americans, the Washington deep state elites, like Hillary Clinton, Blue Star Strategies, is a Hillary Clinton lobby firm. Sally Painter and Karen Sherman, the CEOs of the company, used to be chief of staff to Bill Clinton and the advisor to Bill Clinton when he was the president of the United States in the 90s. So these guys, they're all interconnected with each other. Mitt Romney, for example, blocked my subpoena when Senator Johnson, when I came out and started to talk in the truth and gave evidence to the U.S. Senate, they wanted to subpoena me so I could provide more documents which were under the Non-Disclosure Act in the agreement with Blue Star. But Mitt Romney blocked my subpoena in the Committee of Intelligence in the United States. His vote blocked my subpoena in March of 2020, and they only got a part of it. Today, I can speak the truth because I got falsely sanctioned by the U.S. government. I was sanctioned by the Ukrainian government illegally because they cannot sanction their own citizens just because coming out and telling the truth. I was part of their team for years. I thought it was democracy. I was young. I was part of the coup in Maidan coup. Senator McCain came. I was responsible for security. I was in the White House numerous times officially during official visits and meetings with the national security team of Joe Biden and Obama administration. And this is all on record in the Senate report, which Senator Johnson and Senator Grassley published in 2020 on Hunter Biden. But then they smeared me and they said, oh, because this guy told the truth and I saw it, I don't want this thing happening to my family. I want Ukraine to be used as a rag in this situation. And I came out and started telling the truth. I thought it would be investigated properly, and this Ukraine would stop being used. No, they just went and destroyed me and labeled me as a pro-Russian, Russian spy, and then they just closed all the cases on Burisma, on the Ukraine interference in the elections, because I also testified to the Federal Election Commission, to the FBI, but it all got closed down after I got sanctioned. So this is the whole process. Ukrainians just let themselves be used. This is what's happening today. The elites, not the citizens, but the elites of Ukraine. Because after the fall of the Soviet Union, it was the prestige to be part of the West, prestige to be part of the United States. If you have a connection with the U.S. ambassador, or you have a connection with the vice president, you're God in Ukraine. You can get any government position, any corrupt scheme, you'll be covered up, protected, and that's it. That's why it all led into this whole mess we see today. And it's still continuing, but with larger numbers. More than $200 billion were sent to Ukraine. We don't know where they are. People are still collecting money for the soldiers on the street because the soldiers don't have enough equipment. But this work is not going to be stopped just because if they would properly investigate the corruption, and Joe Biden would not be president because he was corrupt. He knew what his son was doing. He knew how he was making money, not only through his son, but how, because it was the money which was paid to his son was red flagged by the Latvian financial intelligence. The company where his son worked was illegally formed. The owner of the company, Burisma Zlochevsky, or when he was the Minister of Ecology, he signed certificates for his own company for gas development. So his company became a monopoly in the gas market in Ukraine in the 2000s. So the company itself was formed illegally. That's why it was investigated. It had 6 criminal cases, and they were all closed down after Joe Biden pushed his own prosecutor general in Ukraine to close down those cases and fire the people they needed to fire. And as I said today, if this was properly investigated, we would not have a war today. And it can still be properly investigated and the war can be stopped because these people who are responsible for this, they have to go to prison or they have to stand in front of Congress or U.S. authorities and tell what happened for real. And because they threw whistleblowers like me under the bus, people are afraid to come up and tell the truth because they'll see, oh, Telizhenko got thrown on the bus. Why should we come up and tell the truth if we're going to be also destroyed? This is the question. The U.S. Congress, U.S. Republican Party today under Trump should come together and help people like me to come up with, to tell the truth and go in front of Congress and stand in front of the Department of Justice, any court. I can stand in front of any court and testify under oath with evidence and documents what really happened in Ukraine. But the problem is they don't have the guts to do this right now. And I hope they will get the guts to come up and start doing what they have to do.